All right, folks. Socialists are not hiding the agenda anymore. Okay. Check out this new DSA, Democrat Socialist of America candidate, Melat Kiros. Okay, she's saying she wants to remake America by importing a political movement and installing it directly into the halls of power. Okay, she wants to replace us, and she's actually saying it. This is clip one.
I think it's particularly important, not just for our community in Tigray, but communities of the global South, period, right? There's a certain reckoning that we are going to have with the global world order as it exists today, and the way that it fundamentally will have to shift going forward, right? The responsibility that we have as Americans, the recognition that is going to be required of us, of the exploitative and extractive nature that we play on the global scale and the global stage, is only going to be challenged if we are getting represented by people who understand that on a fundamental level, right? And that means getting more immigrants into office. That means getting more people who have heritage in the global South into office, because that's where those decisions are made specifically.
Wow. All right. Nicole, I mean, did you hear what I heard?
Yeah, I heard what you heard. This is them saying the quiet part out loud. This is that drunken dinner party conversation we keep talking about, live, proud, and taking over one of America's two major political parties. We are in bad shape with these folks. The Democrat Party no longer exists. They have been fully taken over by these Democrat socialists. And if that doesn't scare the pants off of you as an American citizen, I don't know what will.
Yeah. I mean, she is literally saying, talking about this global, and not only she didn't say all immigrants, she said South globalist immigrants. Shelley, you caught that?
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but to me, it's just globalism. Okay, this is another little word that they are using to make it sound better, to make it sound palatable. But I said that these socialists are here, they're coming, more are coming, and they're joining up with the Islamists, in my never to be humble opinion. That's what they're doing. They're coming for our country, and they are serious.
Yeah, I know exactly what she means. She means she doesn't want the immigrants from the Eastern European immigrants. She wants them from the South. Okay, she's talking about the El Salvador. She's talking about all the South American areas. She's talking about Middle Eastern. That's what she's talking about, Nicole.
India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, all the places where H-1B visas are all the rage. But those are people who don't share American ideals. Most of these people don't appreciate, admire, or honor Western civilization concepts. And when she says there has to be a reckoning, this is the part, where the dinner party conversation takes an ugly turn. Because although there are, as I'd like to say, many right-thinking Democrats, people who just vote Democrat because that's what their mama told them to do, whatever. As an American, when you hear that reckoning, you know what that means to us. That means boots on the ground, bombs in the air. That's what that means. And if there's going to be a reckoning, if they think for 1 minute that we're going to bow a knee to anybody, they don't know what these stars and stripes stand for. They have no idea the hell we will rain down on them to protect our way of life. It is absolutely gross that this woman will ever walk the halls of Congress.
Yeah, I'll tell you another reason why she's saying the Southern immigrants, migrants, whatever they call. You know why? Most of those countries come from former countries or even current that are under communist rule. A lot of them have revolutionaries, their little organizations and militias. Same for the Afghanistan, the Pakistan types. They have a lot of young people who are ready and willing to fight. Remember, they believe in the revolution, and that's what they're bringing forth.
Absolutely. And as the President Trump called them, what did he say? The shit stain countries? Yeah. Shitholes, right.
He's not wrong. Let me tell you, but they can bring every rock and slingshot they have. Does nothing against these good old American bullets. Please believe we will defend this nation. Make no mistake. But this goes back to the point that we made almost 2 years ago. You guys remember this point that we made, that no foreign-born person, whether you're naturalized or not, should ever hold political office in this country. Welcome. I'm glad and I love Elon. Elon's one of my favorite African Americans. Love him. But there's something about your allegiance to this nation. As an American, if I move to another nation and learn to love that nation, it will never mean as much to me as the nation of my birth. And that's just human. So we have got to stop with this, suicidal, this toxic, compassion that we have with the rest of the world. These people don't mean us no good. It means us no good. She's sitting there talking about, global this, global that, while she's enjoying the benefits of every single hardworking, tax-paying American. This is absolutely disgusting to me. Without question, disgusting to me.
And this used to be an issue with the Democrats. Democrats used to be against globalism. But now we're seeing, as we get this onslaught of socialists, they're pushing it more. And they're pushing it along the same lines of this racial identity, thing. And it's not American Black, okay, American white. It's this. They're trying to unite everyone under this shades of Benetton crap, okay, where we are supposed to connect with people who are not American. It's just that they may share some type of brown shade as us. No, we reject it, all right? We reject it wholeheartedly, folks.
Absolutely.
Okay, we need to come together, not under this fake brown black unity, under the red, white, and blue is what we need to come together under. Okay, now some people are waking up, I think, all right, because I think some people like Van Jones, we're about to show you folks, he's starting to see the writing on the wall. Okay, he's a long-time Democrat, and he's hearing some of the things that, as more and more of these Democrat socialists come to the forefront, because they are, I think some Democrats are starting to say, whoa, this isn't what I signed up for. Mm-hmm. Take a look. This is Van Jones recently in an interview.
I am tired of a set of people on the very far left in the Democratic Party. Ideas that are literally insane, nutty, moronic, dangerous, bigoted, are not progressive. They're regressive, and they should not be in our party.
I'm not living in communist America. I mean, I know the talking point is that, well, it's not communism, it's socialism. Okay, I've read the quotes from the DSA platform, from their own mouths. Don't tell me I'm not seeing what I am seeing. They say things like, takeover of key industries, government. That's communism.
Yes, it is.
And this comes amid reports of tension between Bernie Sanders and Hakeem Jeffries, the House Minority Leader, personally calling the socialist senator, telling him to stop meddling in Democratic primaries. But Sanders wasn't taking his orders. Over the weekend, Bernie teamed up with far-left Michigan Senate candidate Abdul El-Sayed for a campaign rally that was a doozy. Watch here.
Brothers and sisters, let me tell you.
No brother of mine.
Change is coming. Progressives have been defeating establishment candidates all across America. Now, brothers and sisters.
Oh, please.
The entire country is watching this election. So there's an enormous responsibility on your shoulders.
Harold, you have made a point for...
All right. I mean, this is a problem. This is a problem. He's not lying, Shelley. I mean, he's correct that these socialists are winning Democrat primaries. And not only that, but the guy he mentioned, this El-Sayed or whatever, he has just recently been endorsed by Bernie Sanders, by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, by Rashida Tlaib. These are all the squad members, all the big names in the Democrat Party. He has been endorsed. What are your thoughts?
like I keep saying, they have won their primaries, and many more will probably win across the country, not just isolated to New York or California or wherever. These people mean business. They want to destroy the capitalist way of life known particularly in the America, the 48 and the 50 contiguous states, 48 contiguous and the other 2 for 50. Now, they don't make any qualms about it. Okay, I don't care what you call it. If you want to destroy the country as we know it, you want to, as Obama would say, fundamentally transform the United States of America. You want to destroy communism, capitalism, and put everything under this banner of socialism, making it sound sweeter. What is going to be owned by the state? That means your property, your livelihood, your business, whatever you think you own, the state will now own it. Now, i.e., these Democrat socialists will own it. You will have nothing and you will be happy thanks to Klaus Schwab. They don't just want people who are black and brown and look like us. They want people with the ideology of destroying America, destroying capitalism. That's what they primarily want. And many of these people, I'm going to say all of them, but okay, 99.99% from the Middle East, the Afghanistans, all them staying countries, okay? A lot of countries in Latin America, people coming there, that's what they want. They want to come here and recreate much, if not worse, than what they left. That's what they want to do.
Yeah. Folks in the chat, I want to hear from you. Do we have enough people to stand up against these ingrates? Okay, against these commies. All right. I want to hear from the foundational Black Americans. I want to hear from the patriots. Okay. Who's going to stand up for our country? Nicole, I mean, do you believe we have enough people to push back against this? Because they're really starting to come out like roaches when you turn the lights on. All right. They're coming out the woodwork.
They're coming out the woodwork because there is no leadership. When there's a power vacuum, the weirdos take over. And when we talk about lack of leadership on the Democrat side, Hakeem Jeffries is all about Hakeem. He doesn't give a shit about the rest of the party. And let me tell you, when you think Chuck Schumer, 30 years, serving the nation, you would think that he would be a big stick in a small place. He's all but done in. This meeting that the DSA had over the weekend, they all talked about how they were going to get AOC nominated and elected as president of the United States. President of these United States. So when Democrats don't have, very much like Republicans, when they don't have leadership, they don't field a good list of candidates. You end up with Graham Plattner and the lying about who he is and the potential rapes and all the alleged stuff and the Nazi tattoo and Talarico, who can't keep the word trans out of his mouth, along with some other meat, but that's hearsay. We're just going to do that. When you get those people as candidates and you try to wash them off and sit them in front of the American people, the average person is going to stay home. They're not going to vote in that cycle. And when they don't vote, when the middle of America doesn't vote, the fringe does. And this is what happens. The fringe has completely taken over this party. Taken over this party. And when I tell you, this is not the beginning, we're about mid-cycle with these people. It's going to get ugly. The closer we get to 2028, this is going to become an issue because it's going to be an all-out war between those people who call themselves centrists in the Democrat Party and these leftists to try to get them out of power. The one thing we know about leftists, they don't care. You can call them what you want to. You can be as angry as you want to. Now that they have a hold of the reins of power, will the Democrats have enough power to snatch it back from them? Right now, they don't.
Well, then that means that we as patriots, as freedom-loving people, have to turn out in droves. Okay, folks, because we're not just talking about capitalism, which is important. We're not just talking about our private property, which is important. We're not just talking about these people taxing us, taking our money, taxing us into oblivion. We are actually talking about these people supporting groups and countries like Iran, okay, like funding Hezbollah and Hamas, okay. Take a look at this next clip. This is a bunch of DSA and Democrats, some who are in office. They participated, as you mentioned, Nicole, in a stream this weekend where speakers compare America to Nazism and discuss protecting Iran. Okay. If my eyes hadn't seen it, I wouldn't have believed it. This is clip 2.
Government and the Israeli government, they're in the midst of creating the Fourth Reich. And it is absolutely accurate to compare these people to Mussolini, to Adolf Hitler.
Yep, they're all there. Look at her. She's the New York senator. That's the trans. Remember her? This is the one we just talked about. Roy Connor.
We're governed by dead-eyed psychopaths and sociopaths and bloodthirsty imperialists. The U.S. government and the Israeli government, they are the terrorists. They are the terrorists. They are doing terrorism. If Iran's off the table as a regional power, that means Hezbollah can't be funded, Hamas can't be funded, the Houthis can't be funded, like the Shia Crescent falls, and then you have nothing but regional domination for Israel. There's a reason why I call Israel and the U.S. the axis of Epstein, okay? There's a reason why I've said repeatedly that they're in the midst of creating the Fourth Reich, because that sincerely is what they're doing. These are genuinely repulsive, disgusting, wretched, depraved human beings. And it is absolutely accurate to compare these people to the worst criminals in history, to Mussolini, to Adolf Hitler.
Wow. So the bleach has just eaten away at all his brain. He has nothing left. Okay. That's the only thing I can think of any warm-blooded American out here siding with Iran. Okay. Shelley, I want to get your thoughts on this. You fought for this country. You are a veteran. What do you think about when you hear Americans, not only just civilians, but people who are in Congress sitting in streams and advocating for this type of stuff?
To say it makes you angry is putting it mildly. It makes me know that these people, number one, they don't have a sense of history, but number two, they have utter contempt for the United States of America, for the people who have bled and died for our country. They have no sense of the deaths. And I'm talking about in quote unquote peacetime, the deaths under Mussolini, Hitler, Stalin, okay, combined over 100 million communist deaths in the last century, and that's on the low side, okay. That's not all the requisite and consequential deaths just by the lack or the deprivation of the people in those countries. These are their citizens, okay, not even just the citizens around the world, but these are the people in their country under these dictators that have died and that were slaughtered by hungers, starvation, gas chambers, outright death camps, if you will, and many, many more methods of brutal dictatorship. So this is what this tells me. It tells me that we have a generation or two of ungreats or ingrates, people who are ungrateful about what America as a country, what she has sacrificed, what she has done to even allow them. Do you know that if they were in these former, or some of them still, communist countries speaking out like they do in America, their heads would literally be off, okay? Their heads would be off. They would be gassed to death without a moment's thought, not one regard for their lives, and certainly their children and their family. The communities would be devastated. Now, do we have pockets of that going on here? Yes, the likes of BLM, okay, and other rioters that want to cause Antifa, that want to cause the destruction and the revolution. But by and large, America is a good, honorable country, okay? We have our own moral flaws, don't get me wrong. We have some things that and on this show, we call them out on our own side, okay? But nevertheless, we have people with utter contempt for America, the veterans, the military men and women who are serving right now, who are literally serving right now. We just had some that died over the weekend, and I think one is still missing. They have utter contempt for our military, for our country. They don't give a damn talking about middle America, Nicole. They don't give a damn about middle America, because these people, this is what they do to those people in middle America. See, middle America is too normal for them. okay? Maybe too conservative, whatever word you want to use. They're too patriotic. That's not what they want. They want you to be patriotic to the blood-stained sickle flags. That's what they want, and that's what they're coming for.
Yeah, we're all Christians here, Bible-believing Christians, on here. Shout out to our Bible-believing Christians in the chat. We're not Jewish, okay, but we believe in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that Israel is without fault. All right. But I don't understand, Nicole, how we have clearly, I mean, this is not a fabrication. We see people in the Middle East, in Iran, in Hezbollah, Hamas, in the Palestine, shouting death to America, death to America, death to Israel. But yet we have these people on that stream we just saw, Democratic Socialists are against Israel, and it looked like he was saying he was against America. I don't understand this.
Do you know the tie that binds all of these kind of radical leftist groups together is their anti-Semitism. The religion of Judaism and the nation of Israel are two completely different things. Mm-hmm. No nation is without sin. And I say this to you as someone who lost her husband in service to this nation, as someone who absolutely loves these stars and stripes. We have done some things to protect our nation, to protect our allies that I don't ever want to know about. As a Christian person, don't tell me, because I don't want to have to answer for none of it. However, I am eternally grateful for the men and women who got out there and did what needed to be done so I can go to bed an American and wake up tomorrow morning another American. It gives us a sense of comfort and peace that the rest of the world doesn't always enjoy, especially these Southern global folk, where they're a little bit more war-torn in these nations. I get it. Everybody wants to take the big dog down. You can't take us down from without. They're battling us here on our homeland from within. They're using our own toxic empathy, our own suicidal empathy, letting millions of these people pour into our nation against us, our own laws against us. It makes me shudder to think, if these people had their way and Israel was no longer an ally to the United States, what do you think would happen to the Middle East? How do you think the Houthis got the money? They don't have ATM cards. Nobody called up, the World Bank and took a loan. This is Barack Obama's pallets of cash that have been funding these Houthis, who are absolutely nothing more than a terrorist organization. Nothing more. There's nothing that ties these wackos together other than their anti-Semitism, and that includes the DSA. What do we do as a nation here in the United States? Say this, and people hear me when I say this: Israel can fight her own battles. Make no mistake. They good. They can fight their own battles. Here in the United States, we have our own battle, not only for our land, our property, but for our culture, for our children and our grandchildren. The culture is the biggest thing. 70 million Americans voted for Donald Trump. 70 million Americans voted for the Stars and Stripes and patriotic. Sounds like a lot. But when you take into consideration the people who did not vote for him, the people who could not vote, and the people who did not vote, we about 50-50. Yeah. And these people are replicating at a rate that we can't even begin to understand. Most of these Somali immigrant families that live in Minnesota, 10, 12, 15 children. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for this takeover. America has got to wake up. We cannot continue to walk around sleep. And I don't mean people like us who see it coming. I'm talking again, middle America, who are not political, who are sitting at home right now, watching body cam footage instead of getting their eyes on the prize. But they have the most to lose because it'll be their children's school before they know it. Before they know it, they'll be living to an epic city with Muslims playing the call to prayer all day, all day and in the mornings, when you can't even ring a church bell. When you can't stand on the street and utter the name of Jesus without a cop in Fort Worth, Texas, coming to tell you that your language is offensive and I'm going to arrest you. This is the new America. We had better get it together.
Absolutely. And again, I mean, I hate to keep going back on this. It makes no sense to me for Americans to be siding with radical Islamists over Israel. That's the part I don't understand. I mean, Israel isn't a perfect country, and supporting the alliance doesn't require endorsing every decision made by, the Israeli government. But Israel is a democratic, pro-American nation confronting many of the same Islamist movements that threaten us, that threaten our troops, that threaten our trade routes, and in the whole of Western civilization. So I'm not saying that we need to be on every, all sides every time something occurs in Israel, but to hear what I'm seeing going on, I mean, it just does not make sense to me. If I'm in a fight with a gang A, and I have gang B here who's also fighting gang A, but I don't like gang B, or I have, I don't like everybody in gang B, but gang A is saying death to gang B and me. I'm going to say, all right, well, gang B, you and I need to, connect, ally. I don't like all of you guys over there, but I like a good amount of you. And we need to come together and go against gang A. This is just common sense to me. This is why we know, one, it's a spiritual warfare we're dealing with. Okay. And then two, we know that this is manipulation. This is them trying to kill us, destroy us from within. All right. And folks, we can't let it happen. We just cannot. All right. So let's get into this. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all as you watch this broadcast. It is time for Poppin' Politics. Remember, you come in to like, share, and subscribe. If you're tired of the power-hungry commie leftists trying to strip us of our rights and tear apart our country, folks, you're in the right place, because we push back against them. Ladies, let's set it off. I know, Shelly, we have some super chats here. Is that right?
We do already. Yes, we do. On this Monday, we have Savrix. Thank you for joining us tonight, Savrix. Savrix says the worse things get, the greater any solution is. So, okay, Sarah, that's a good way of pointing. Larry, thank you for your your gems, 6 gems, a makeup brush. I think that means he bought us a makeup brush. Thank you for that. Savrix gave us 2 gems. He gave us a silver star. Thank you for your super chats, everybody out there. It's Monday. You are in the right place. This is Pop in Politics. Go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. You got a lot of things to hit. Just let your anger out and just tap out buttons on that YouTube page. Also, don't forget, you can hype our page on YouTube. The hype, I don't know, the hype
at 24 hours after this broadcast. 24 hours.
Go ahead and hype it so we can go viral. We also have a website. We have merchandise, and we're going to keep telling you that throughout the show. But right now, hit that like, share, and subscribe, and that notification bell so you know when we go live.
Absolutely. Absolutely, folks. Well, there are still, patriots in this country, folks. And we got to highlight them as well. We got more of these. There's more. I hate to say this, but what we have coming up is really going to enrage all of you patriots out there, anyone who loves freedom, who loves this country. But before we get to it, we want to shed a little light and let you guys know that there are still people out there that love this country. Okay. Take a look at this next clip. This was amazing. This was a video, a clip that captured, it looks like it was the Chicago Cubs game. Okay. And a fan wouldn't stand for the national anthem. Well, he did it around the wrong patriot. All right. Because he said, no, we're not going to have this. You better get up. Take a look at this next clip. There he is. Get up. Yeah. Yep. All right. So that man was not having it, Shelly. He said, "Get your ass up." All right.
He did. Look, he said that, and then he told the other people, "You got something to say? You want some of this too?" And they turned their little happy asses back around too. Look, no, we are not condoning, hitting someone and whatever. I don't know what that man, but I know one thing: that young guy, he stood up. He stood up, and that man, I'm going to guess, that man probably either served our country or he had people that served and possibly even gave their lives for this country. And you got little twits, little ingrates, little ignorant ingrates, they're just so entitled that they want to just thumb their nose up. That man wasn't having it. Again, I'm not saying he should have put his hands on him because it could have turned out a much worse outcome. However, I applaud his boldness. I'll definitely applaud his patriotism.
Yeah, Nicole. I mean, do you think the old man went too far, or do you think this was like, okay, you don't always have to stand up for the national anthem, or do you think pay your respect?
He should definitely pay his respects, and I like to wager a little money here or there, like everybody else on the planet. I got 50 on Grandpa. Peepaw was gonna whoop his ass. Make no mistake. He was gonna come out that jersey and lube up that tight shoulder, and he was gonna put it on that very delicate soy boy, sitting there with his very Parisian t-shirt on. He was gonna beat the brakes off that boy and show him what he's working with. Listen, when you've dedicated so much of your life to building a great nation, and you get to the point where you should be able to kick back and say, like we do, take your Spanx off. Oh my God, breathe a fresh breath of air, and you got some little twerp who's sitting there during our national anthem when we just had the whole world visiting us, standing for our anthem, loving everything about this nation. And this little twit's going to sit there. Yeah, Grandpa would have whooped his ass. And the two other dudes who had something to say, you saw they turned themselves around. So Grandpa must have had that smoke on him because he was not playing with him. He was not.
How do we get here, Shelly? I mean, we're all of a certain age. What are we, Gen? I don't even know what Gen I am.
Gen X.
Gen X. Okay. And, I don't remember getting civics class in school, like at least a large portion of it. But I was a poli-sci major in high school, in college. And I remember in high school, we did talk about, American history and things like that. And I feel like my generation still had a love for this country, and it was told to us or portrayed to us by teachers, by professors, for the most part, that we should be proud of America. What's happened?
I think there's several things. I'm going to categorize them, basically a few things. Number one, again, I think Gen X, I think our generation is the last best hope, at least right now. I think I always call our generation that cusp generation, where we still had enough of our grandparents' influence with many of our baby boomer parents, out doing whatever they were doing. Okay. So I think we still have enough old school values. We can still hold that line, but we do have a generation or two that has largely been raised on entitlement, coddling. They were not taught history. They were indoctrinated. They were not taught history, American history, Western, East. They weren't taught those things for the purpose of learning how the world works. They were taught those things for the purpose of tearing down America. Mm-hmm. We were taught, and they were indoctrinated to believe that America, we have too much. We're the bad. We are the great Satan, and Israel is the little Satan. We were taught that. We were taught that it's America's fault that everybody else is downtrodden and impoverished, and we owe it to them. We're supposed to sacrifice ourselves to their benefit because we have just been greedy and all kinds of causing all kinds of pillage and damage. What we were not taught, or that generation, we were not taught that we have been bestowed a blessing. We have an obligation. See, we were told that we have rights, but we weren't told that we have obligations to maintain the benefits, the blessings, the great gifts that God has given us. We weren't told that we should be stewards of them. As far even as it relates to our country, that's not what we were told. So we have a lot of people now in this generation. A number of people, millions of them, unfortunately, are just lost. And and I mean lost, not just intellectually. They have no spiritual foundation. They certainly don't have the structure, if you will, not just family, but they don't even have the community structure that we grew up with. Some of us didn't grow up with dads in the home either, but we had a structure that went from the home to the community, churches, other organizations on every corner, certainly in the schools. We had to stand for that Pledge of Allegiance every day. I remember, I don't know what year it was, but I do remember as we went through high school, or middle school, high school, there were times where I could tell the teachers were saying, you don't have to put your hand on your heart, but you have to stand, because it was a matter of respect. That's all. You had to stand. So we've lost that. I mean, children today, young people, you can curse out a teacher and it's the teacher's fault. I mean, go figure.
Yeah, Nicole, I mean, Shelley has sort of focused on the younger generation of all Americans. But what I want to ask you is, what about particularly Black Americans? Because when I was coming up, Black folks still, I mean, we understood that racism exists and it still exists. But this was our country. Our ancestors helped build it, okay? And we understood that. And then we were proud of what we have become, what we have overcome, I should say. You know, that was something that was really drilled in within school and things. It wasn't so much focus on this, the BLM sort of ideas of othering us. And now that's exploded. It's all over the face. It's so divisive. Can we get back to where we were with the way we grew up, or am I just, was a fantasy? Maybe that wasn't the way it was for everybody.
Well, I think that was the way it was for most of us for two reasons. We were not so far removed from the horrible part of racism, the horrible part of prejudice. So our grandparents, you know, although they weren't enslaved, they lived through, some of them, Jim Crow and the remnants of Jim Crow. But the further we get away from that, the less these new generations understand the concept. They're quick to tell you what their quote unquote ancestors lived through, but they're short on fixing the problem. So, you know, we were all taught being educated is important. You carry yourself a certain way because you represent your family. You would not be caught dead outside with a bonnet. You wouldn't be caught dead outside without some lip gloss. I go to the mailbox. My mailbox is like a quarter mile from my house. Lip gloss, honey, hair did, the whole bit. It's just because we were brought up to understand that although we came from nothing, it doesn't mean we got to stay nothing. So what we see now are these kids aren't getting that lesson. They're not getting the understanding that being Black is more than just a skin color. It's more than just the sum of our parts. Black women are so much more than hips and boobs and stripper culture. We're so much more than that, but they don't value that. What they value is take that, charge that, pay that, snatch that. Everything that we rallied against, things we were ashamed to listen to in front of adults, because we had ghetto music too, but we didn't listen to it in front of anybody that could correct us. We got together in little corners, we listened, and moved on with our lives. The expectations were different. These younger generations don't have any expectations, and they live like that. They live like there's nothing greater than them. There's no God for them. There's no community for them. Their parents, you know, this is just the people who pay the bills and house me. This is why we see these children acting in a way as if no one loves them. And that is the biggest concern that we have as Black America. How do we take this group of children who lost years sitting in the house, playing PlayStation, watching YouTube, listening to music, who were effectively desocialized during that whole scamdemic? How do we re-socialize these children? And once we re-socialize them, what can we do as a community to stop the horror that they lived through from happening to their children? Because as we know, generation curses do exist. And if we don't fix this now, this is not going to be a 1 or 2 generation problem. This is going to be a 5 or 8 generation problem. So we really do need to figure this out. How do we put value back into young Black women? That everything doesn't have to be an argument. Everything is not confrontational. It's okay to get a ticket, because even if you feel like you're right, you can go to court and fight it. Where you're not going to fight it is on the street corner where you have nothing but your lip gloss and your big hips, with a man with a gun, a taser, some pepper spray, and a gang of other folk who just like that, who will come and tase your ass into submission. Why don't we see the handwriting on the wall? These are the questions that as a community we have to answer, but no one's willing to do that hard work.
Well, one of the things we got to do is push back against this education system, which has indoctrinated many generations. Okay. We got to push back against the culture, and we got to get patriots in office. Okay. Mm-hmm. Also, the media is a big issue. They are a big proponent of this indoctrination and the lies and the fake news that we see going around, folks. This is why channels like ours are so important, okay? Because there are not a lot of people out there that love this country, that understand the foundations, founding of our country, and know how important it is, that look like us, okay? And so this is why it's important for you guys to continue to support us. We appreciate every super chat. We also have merch, guys. We have beautiful, beautiful different types of merch. Take a look at this video. What's up, everybody? This is Poppin' Politics. Get your merch. Are you a Poppin' Politics fan? Are you unapologetically American? Or not black, not white American? We got it all for you right here. Get your merch.
Get the classic shirt. Classic. Goes with everything, comes in a variety of colors. Smart, edgy, conservative, like us, like you. This is a great way to support the channel. Click the merch button.
There is no shame in being an American. You get your shirt today and be unapologetic about it. Get your shirt, wear it, and be a proud American.
You can get it all in t-shirts and hoodies. You can get it in stickers, on bags. You can get it all on our website, metroconservativemedia.com, or our YouTube page, Pop and Politics, and tag over to store. You can get your merch and show you're proud to be an American and support Pop and Politics. All right. All right. We got some super chats, folks. Thank you all so much.
All right, we do. Let's see who we have here. We have Liberty. Hi, Liberty girl. Where have you been? Hi, how are you? I am thinking that if these commies take power, there will be a civil war. That's exactly what they want.
That's exactly
what they want, Liberty. Josh, hi Josh. Thank you for your $20. Hey Pop fam. Shelly is exactly right. I feel this all the time. Gen X is the cusp generation, which still respects our elders, our country, and our ancestors. I was born in 1977 and graduated high school in 1995. All right, Josh, that's right. Gen X. I think we're going to be the generation that has to we have to save our country in a way. And we Dion, hi Dion. Thank you. That's my buddy Dion there, you all. He sent us 400 gems for the Eagle level. Thank you for that.
What's that? What is that? I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is. We're going to find out what these gems are either.
I love it. Thank you.
Thank you, Gloria. Hi, Gloria. Thank you for your $50. Hello, ladies. I'm asking for a friend, an elderly white lady who lives near Detroit, a couple blocks away, also close to other suburbs. Hint, hint, Shelly. Can she purchase and learn to defend herself, or is she too old? Hell no, she's not too old. She's an American. She's an adult. Go get training. You can text me, not text me. What do you call it? Message me on YouTube or whatever, and I can direct you better. But thank you for that. Who is this? Evie. Somebody Evie sending us 30 gems of flower level. Thank you for that.
Wow. What is this?
I love that.
Thank you for those super chats out there. Go to our website, www.metroconservativemedia.com. Go to our store. Go and shop until your heart's content. Our merchandise is flying off the shelves, you all. We're not kidding. It's flying. It's selling so hot. Take that picture, drop it in our Discord, and we will showcase you here. We did have a picture. Producers can pull it up and we'll show it later. We have a fan.
Yeah, Marla.
Oh, she looks so cute.
She looks so cute. So we'll get that and we'll show it to you later. The producer's going to grab that.
Yeah. Yes. All right. So let's keep it going here, folks. All right. So we want to bring you some joy before we bring you the rain. Okay. And again, this kind of stuff gets me so fired up. This is why it's so important for us to come together as a nation, as God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people who, from all ethnicities, from all skin colors, we need to come together because this is the only way we are going to save our country. All right. And we're seeing the young people, we're seeing these socialists are trying. I'm not going to say they are. They're trying to take over, okay? But they're liars. They're hypocrites. They're frauds, okay? These socialists love condemning capitalism right up until you ask how many millions capitalism has put into their bank accounts, all right? That takes us to El-Sayed, okay, what I call a champagne socialist. Take a look at this. This is clip 3.
Far-left Michigan Senate candidate Abdul El-Sayed is increasingly facing accusations of champagne socialism. And his tax returns are adding fuel to that fire. The filing shows El-Sayed's household income for 2025 was over $686,000. That's nearly 10 times Michigan's median household income. And one reason the Medicare for All candidate is raking in cash and backlash is that his wife, a psychiatrist, does not accept Medicare or any other insurance plan at her practice. You may also remember El-Sayed campaigned with millionaire far-left streamer Hassan Piker, who once notably said that America deserved 9/11. El-Sayed said Piker's comments had been taken out of context. But maybe the reason El-Sayed is doing decent in the polls is because this is his competition.
I am going to be working on our behalf. I am going to be telling the stories on our behalf. And you better believe I'm going to be doing it with a little bit of joy, a little bit of enthusiasm, a little bit of energy, and a little bit of stick it to them. Because that's the Michigan way.
I mean, Laura, I have to
Come on, let her
you.
do it. Let her
Laura's
do it.
been all over this.
She did it during the break. Let her do it, please.
Oh, I'm the best motivational speaker out there. I'm sorry. This is just, look, the Democrats have a huge problem with attracting good candidates.
They're weird. The Democrat Party are a bunch of weirdos, okay? They're transgendered, America-hating, socialists, weirdos, okay? That's what they are. And I mean, I gotta call them like I see them. But this guy, this El-Sayed, all right, he's sitting here, you know, Democrat socialist, self-proclaimed Democrat socialist, and his wife is a doctor or works in the medical field and doesn't take Medicaid, doesn't take Medicare. Nicole, what are your thoughts?
She's smart. Listen, here's the thing. If you're a psychiatrist, you don't want to take any insurance. You definitely want to be boutique because then you can charge however you want, how much ever you want for that 45-minute hour. When you take government-funded insurance, Medicaid, Medicare, you will dance to their rules. And I mean dance. When they say jump, your feet had best be up off the ground, or they will take everything you have and lock your ass up in jail. This is what doctors dance with in order to be helpful to mankind, to take these insurances that pay them pennies on a dollar for what they're worth, but you will dance for them. The federal government does not play around. Medicine is heavily regulated, from the color of the ink that you write with to what you write, how you write it, when you write it. It is incredibly regulated. Thank God, because it keeps me gainfully employed. More regulations, please. The first and only time you ever hear me say that. But she's making money like nobody's business. If you want to be in medicine in the United States and you don't really like blood and you're not really that fond of people, but you want to make a bunch of money, behavioral health is where you should go. Psychiatry is where you should go. You sit around, listen to other people's problems, you tell them where they went wrong, refer them to a therapist, give them some magic beans, and you see them again next month. It's a beautiful situation. Absolutely beautiful. But this woman is a capitalist. Democrat socialist, my ass. She's a capitalist and she's making her money. Maybe it's just her husband who's delicate. Absolutely. She sounds like she's a shark.
Absolutely. It makes sense. Your husband's out here running as a democratic socialist, pushing Marxist ideology, and your wife is totally opposite of that. I mean, it's hypocritical.
It makes sense if you know socialism, communism, because even in those systems, many people seem to think that everybody's going to be equally poor, whatever the word is. No, we're not. Even in socialism and communism, there are classes, most likely two classes, the poor and the elite, or the wealthy, the rich. And this lady is ensuring that she's going to be at the top of the food chain. And she's also purposefully, professionally self-selecting her clients, the clients who can afford her by way of capitalism. Okay. She doesn't want the poor people who have to rely on Medicaid, with no other options. She does not want them. So therefore, her clientele will only be people who can afford her rates. We call that supply and demand. That's capitalism. That's what they're using to enrich themselves, all the while telling the rest of you all that they're going to stick it to you. Yeah, they're going to stick it to you right to the poorhouse while they continue to enrich themselves.
That's exactly what it is. They are absolutely fraudulent, phony, fake. Again, it's just like the people who tell you that, you know, you should do a certain thing, and then you go to their house and they don't do that thing, right? Oh, you should have a bunch of children, and you get to their house, they don't have no damn kids, they ain't even got a husband. It's ridiculous to me. When you look at these Democrat socialists, all of them are exceedingly wealthy. All of them. Exceedingly wealthy, not a little bit of, not some change in the pocket. I'm talking about Hassan Pikert is exceedingly wealthy. He's never going to be broke. He could spend like a drunken sailor from now to the end of his days and still leave a legacy for the children that he makes of wealth. This is ridiculous. Again, they're selling you the pipe dream while they're sitting back in the lap of luxury, enjoying life.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And they're weird. As I mentioned before, these are a bunch of degenerate weirdos. Okay. Have you all been following since the other weirdo left the race in Maine? They were actually working to find a replacement for him. Well, one of them was a trans candidate. Okay. Take a look at this crap. This big man out here with a dress on, smelling up the place because he looks like he's sweating. Take a look at this.
And then I agree, they need to take the masks off and they need to put their badges on. And then they also need to wear their body cam.
Oh!
And I don't believe they should be able to just walk away after they shoot somebody.
He's talking about ICE.
They should be investigated.
This is real.
They need to shoot you. They need to harpoon your ass. That's a big bore.
It's probably not going to get stripped away. If we tried to go after it, Leos are going to fight it. I guess.
I'm not sure if you guys can hear, but I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, this is insane. Let me see. I think I have another clip of him.
Of it, that boar. He looks like, remember that couple last week, that was it a moose or a buffalo, some animal that charged that man and threw him up in the air?
Yeah.
That's what he looks like. That's what he looks like.
But but the Democrat Party is taking these people seriously.
I think Brian
your intersects. Right. How did that end up coming about? How did you find all this out?
Through medical records that don't add up in my birth records.
Okay. Wait, birth records?
Yeah.
Can you explain that further? I don't want to.
So, when I was born, the hospital admin for the medical records signed off on the birth record. And they filed it, I'm pretty certain, a little bit over 30 days past my birth.
Oh, wow.
And then what they told my mother was they supposedly ran out of birth forms. Now, when I reached out to the town clerk of where I was born, I specifically asked them, "Oh, how many other birth certificates did this admin sign?" Turns out mine was the only one.
Oh, okay. Well, what was the I mean, why was there an issue? What happened? I guess I'm unsure what happened.
The issue that I'm running into is because, well, unfortunately, they only retained birth records for 20 years, and mine got destroyed. So now I'm not going to get an answer as to why they did that. But
we know you're a man. I don't need to be a doctor to understand. You are a dude, a man, a big stinky man. What is going on?
Crazy talking to crazy.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. Blind leading the blind.
People are legitimizing this stuff. That's the problem we have. We've always had crazy, but we called it what it was. We did not take these people seriously. and we moved on. But there are people out here now who are taking these people seriously.
The people who say they're taking them seriously, again, they're crazy themselves. Okay, that's going to be the test. You can know they're crazy if crazy cosigns crazy. That's it. That man, that boar there, who needs to be lassoed and harpooned and tied up somewhere, strung up by his hands and feet, and just harpooned. I mean, this is I don't even want to know if it's a mockery of women, because he's not a woman. He's not even. And why do they always have to be so damn ugly? I mean, why? They don't even. Why? So this is their warped, sordid vision. I don't know, macabre view of what they think women actually look like or supposed to look like. I mean, and they do it on purpose. And then they want the reverence or want to be taken seriously. No, this is a boar. Okay, he's a boar and he needs to be harpooned. I mean, I don't know.
He believes he menstruates. He believes he menstruates. He said in this same clip that he leaks like a mucus, and he believes that's his period. I mean, but this is people are taking this seriously. You have the ACLU out here advocating for these nut jobs. All right, but we got to give credit where credit is due. I mean, again, like I said, the Democrat Socialists have embraced these people. Many of these trans identifying people are in parcel. They're running the Democrat Socialists of America. Okay, they're all on Mondami's campaign in New York and in his cabinet. All right, they're lunatics. And here in this next clip, brace yourselves, folks. Jake Tapper is pressing the Michigan Senate candidate Abdul El-Sayed over his refusal to comment on the death of Iran's Ayatollah. This is clip 4.
20 weeks ago, when Iran's supreme leader was killed, you told your staff, according to audio obtained by the Washington Free Beacon, quote, "There are a lot of people in Dearborn who are sad today, so like I just don't want to comment on Khamenei at all," unquote. I thought that quote was interesting because the Ayatollah has killed tens of thousands of innocent Iranians, not to mention the proxies that Iran has funded that have killed innocent civilians all over the Middle East. Why were you worried about offending people who support the Ayatollah?
Jake, on a day where we're mourning the loss of 2 more service members in a war we never should have fought.
What's funny is what I want to know. Do you see how he's smirking when he asked him the question? I want to replay this for you guys because I want to make sure you saw it. What the hell is funny about the Ayatollah and these radical Islamists killing Americans?
The Ayatollah has killed tens of thousands of innocent
Iranians,
not to mention the proxies that Iran has funded that have killed innocent civilians all over the Middle East. Why were you worried about offending people who support the Ayatollah?
Jake, on a day where we're mourning the loss of 2 more service members in a war we never should have fought, I think all of us ought to step back and ask whether or not everybody in Michigan, frankly, everybody in America, shouldn't be sad about the fact that this president, backed by the prime minister of a foreign government, took us to a war we had no business fighting in. So yeah, I didn't want to comment on it then because it's a ridiculous pretext. And now you're asking me about the Ayatollah, who's dead, by the way, and you're not asking me about the service members who've died. You're not asking me about whether or not this war should have ever been fought. You're not asking me about whether or not the costs that are being borne by Michiganders in the tax dollars we pay or the gas prices that are insane right now are worth it. And so, look, let's have a conversation based in Michigan. I'm running for Senate in Michigan. And I think here in Michigan, all of us are probably sad about the fact that we went to war that we never should have fought. I'd rather our money be spent here.
I was specifically asking you about comments you didn't want to make because you didn't want to offend people in Dearborn, which is in Michigan.
Nicole, do you understand? Can you explain what Jake Tapper was asking him and how he deflected?
Well, we call it spin. So what he tried to do was take the question and spin it into things that the people in Dearborn would find much more palatable. But finally, Jake Tapper must have got his balls back from his wife's pocketbook and said, no, that's not the question I asked you. All that's very interesting, but I asked you very specifically about the Ayatollah and why you would not say anything. You know, a war that we shouldn't have been in. Iran has been at war with the United States for more than 40 years. We've just never done anything about it. We've always said, okay. It's like, back in the day when you were a much bigger kid and a little kid was after you, put your hand on their forehead and hold them off while they're swinging and doing all of this. That was the United States for a long time. But over time, you got to slap a bully out every now and again to let them know that you mean business. And this mysterious we he keeps bringing up. We who? Who we? We, Miss Shore, us? No, sir. You're not a part of us. You answered a Dearborn. You couldn't even answer that question about the Ayatollah. And when he brought up how murderous and rank and tyrannical that man was, it was all you could do not to continue to roll your eyes and smack your lips at Jake Tapper, who's a softball interview for any Democrat. Any Democrat. So tell me again about this great crop of candidates that the Democrat Party has put in front of America. When they give you to choose from hard shit, loose shit, watery shit, what do you choose? What do you choose? I mean, between him and the crazy woman that looks like she's straight off The Simpsons or something, talking about what she's going to bring this and bring that, like some kind of old-timey baseball coach. Girl, what's going on in Michigan? What is going on there? We are upside down. And again, Democrat leadership, and I say this as you all know who I am, a card-carrying conservative, proud member of the Heritage Foundation. Let me tell you something. We need them to do something with their fringe lunatic side. They've got to address these fringe lunatics who have taken over their party. Chuck Schumer should not even be a consideration for leadership. He doesn't have the spine for it. Hakeem Jeffries needs to have a seat. He doesn't have the spine for it. I long for the days when there was leadership on both sides of the aisle and nobody was trying to make these wholesale changes to our culture where dudes in a dress, pontificating about having a menstrual cycle out of his butt. What? And we take him serious as a candidate? He's getting earned media? When I tell you the Democrat Party is in trouble, they're in big trouble. And these people who vote blindly Democrat, and I say this over and over again because these people look like us, who vote blindly Democrat have no idea what they're getting into. No idea what they're getting into. And it's up to us to ring the bell. We can't let this go without calling this out. I mean, as disgusting and as displeasurable as we find having this conversation about this guy who, has got hemorrhoids and thinks it's a menstrual cycle, we need to call these people out. This guy who is clearly in bed with Dearborn, Zam Dammit in New York, who's doing his level best to dismantle what used to be the greatest city on the face of this earth. We've got to call these people out, and not just for the sake of calling them out, but to raise awareness so people like the folks in our chat are going to do the right thing when it comes time to vote, to tell their neighbors, their friends, their children, look, I know you don't pay as much attention to politics as I do, but let me tell you who this dude really is. He's not for us being Americans. He is not. He bows a knee to somebody else's flag, and we need to let people know that.
Yeah. Shelley, I mean, and we're seeing over and over again, and Nicole, you kind of touched on it, these Democrat socialists, they appear to be soft on crime because they don't primarily view crime as an individual moral failure. We have in New York City, Mondami, folks out today. He just made permanent this syringe pilot program. Have you ladies heard about that? Where he basically they supply syringes to drug addicts. It's called a Community Syringe Redemption Program. The New York Post is reporting on it, and it's part of the budget. And they're spending on this where they collect the syringes and they pay upwards of $10. I believe it's a day. I don't know if it's a day or a week to the addicts as they turn in these syringes. All right. But people are saying this program, where it attempts to get hazardous syringes off city streets, it's actually paying drug addicts to continue their drug addicted lives. I mean, and most of them are going to eventually OD or on fentanyl or any of something else. But this is a part of this idea that this type of stuff is normal. That they're supposed to do this. We're seeing all of this kind of stuff. What are your thoughts here, Shelley?
Yeah, this who El-Sayed or whatever his name is, this is what we talked about earlier in the first segment. This is that Islamist socialist or democratic socialist connection, if you will. We're seeing more and more of these Islamists come into office, taking the kind of leadership, if you will, in large cities, large populated areas. And not only that, in addition to this needle exchange program, that's what they call it, some fancy name. It's a needle exchange program. And yes, we have them here in Maryland as well, in Baltimore. So there's nothing like doping up or keeping your population doped up. They always need a class of people who they can dope up, feed with the government subsistence, if you will, keep them on the government tit, because those are the people you're going to definitely rely on to keep you in office. Okay, you need that. They're largely, I'm going to say, ignorant in the sense that they're too drugged up to know what's going on. But if you keep them high, keep them on drugs, keep them hooked on something, anything except teaching them how to read, write, to hold down a job, take care of a family. Oh no, they don't want to do that, because a free mind will not be able to won't keep them in office. That's why. That's their group. That's the class, if you will, the group of people that they need to always be that way. So this is not coincidental. It's not happenstance. This is on purpose. And again, these democratic socialists, not only are they more and more socialists or coming out with their socialism, they are Islamic and Islamic terror connected. That guy is not so much that he couldn't degrade, if you will, or come against the Ayatollah. He wouldn't do it because he worships. That's a part of his worship chain. That's a part of his command center. This is where he gets his worldview from, and that's what he believes in. His worldview to bring it to America, to bring it to Dearborn or New York, wherever else, and that's what they want. It's on purpose.
Yeah, and then you tie in the socialist Marxism angle into all of this. And this is why they often begin, the crime debate by questioning the actual legitimacy of the police and courts and prisons. Mondami watched the World Cup at Rikers. Okay. He said he wanted to be amongst these people because these are people, he said, these are just because they're in jail and they've committed horrible, heinous crimes. He said he's trying to legitimize and normalize this. Okay. And so this is all part of their stick. Once you believe law enforcement primarily protects the ruling class, because this is what they teach, the criminal now begins to look like a victim of the system. So while the police officer and prosecutors and judges, they become the oppressor. Okay. We know this. This is this oppressor victim mentality that they're trying to put, and they're preaching and teaching in not only some of the Black church, but also in education across the board. Okay. This is dialed. This is part of baked in the cake, folks. We gotta push back against it. We must. So this is why we need you all, as you come on in, hit that like button. Make sure you share this video, share it in a DM, share it on your social media, and subscribe. We need every warm-blooded patriot, God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving person to come together with us and stand up against them. Because guess what? We're not Democrats, but we need a Democrat Party that still stands for America. We do. And right now we don't have that. It seems more and more like they are becoming taken over by these DSA Democrats. So we got to push back against it, folks. Do we have we get all of our super chats here, Shelley?
Yes, we did, but we do want to take a few seconds just to shout out. Is it Marla? Marla is wearing out. Hi, Marla.
Yes, my girl.
wearing one of our t-shirts. Look, these t-shirts are literally, they are hot. They are hot. They're cool, but they are hot in the sense that they can't stay in place on the shelf. So get yours today. Go to our website, metroconservativemedia.com. Go to our YouTube page and tab over to the store button and shop, shop, shop. Marla looks cute in her unapologetically American t-shirt there. And I do want to give us a shout out again, ladies. I want to shout us out. We are one of the top 10 million podcasts of conservative women on YouTube. I think I said that a little backwards, but you get the point. We made the top 10 list, and we want to do it again and again and again. And we can with your help and your support. So keep those shares coming, keep those likes and subscribes, and keep those super chats coming too.
Listen, and it's not too late to get your America 250 t-shirt. This is the year. Buy one to wear around. You got until December. And then buy one to keep for your grandchildren. You know, buy one to keep for your great-grandchildren. It makes an amazing keepsake. These are very high-quality t-shirts. It's not like the stuff you find on the shelves at Walmart, on the hangers at Walmart. But it is something beautiful. I actually got the blue one, believe it or not. And it is gorgeous. It's a heather blue. It looks amazing. It feels amazing. High-quality fabric. And every single time I wear it, it's a conversation starter. People want to know where I got it from. Which store you get the shirt from? When I tell them not black, not white, American, it resonates. It resonates with us all. So get your shirts. We broke the internet when they first came out. Keep shopping. Get your shirts now because they're not going to be here forever. So get them now.
Absolutely. That's right. That's right, folks. All right. I mean, if it couldn't get any worse, we were talking about this a little bit last week. We have these Democrat socialists who are running for office, and many of them are immigrants, okay? And they're coming here and they're talking about how they hate America, how they hate capitalism, you know, how they hate police, how they hate everything about us, but they still come here. That's what I don't understand. So here we have this Peruvian Democrat socialist who is being grilled on Fox News about it. Take a look. This is clip 10.
Your family came here from Peru, really in the middle of the heat of the Shining Path. They were Maoist communist guerrillas in Peru. So why did your family come to America?
The economic situation in South America and in Peru was in a really bad place. But I think that much of what we could say is responsible for that actually was the imposition of capitalism, and American imperialism in many cases is actually what brings immigrants to the U.S. coming out of Latin America. And
so they come here because they don't like the imposition of American imperialism in the country that they're in?
Yes, in many countries.
So they come here.
In many countries, you know, there have been undemocratic coups that have destabilized countries, and that's pushed people out.
Oh, well, you would think they would want to go somewhere that wasn't imposing that on them if that were the case. But, you know, it's interesting.
Shelley, you literally said this, what, today or yesterday? Why are they here?
Why are they here? And you know what, KJ, when I saw that clip there, I'm like Martha. What he said doesn't make sense. But if I took a step back and took a breath and I thought about it again, it makes sense to the ideology that they want to tear down America. They come here because they don't intend to assimilate. They don't want to take on American values. They want to come here and recreate whatever they think they left because they actually still have allegiance to that country where they just immigrated from. That's why they come here. Many of them largely send money back, or they might do whatever they can, but they don't want to assimilate, and they're not going to. There's only about, when I did looking into it, Cubans, some Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans they tend to be more of the Latin American immigrants who do assimilate and take on the American core values, the civic values, if you will. Many other Latin American countries, they don't. So they don't plan to assimilate. And again, I'm going to tie in Roberts, Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett with this one. They just basically said, come on, just come here, drop your squat, if you will. Take a squat, have all the babies you want. And they don't have to be American, or they will be American. They don't have to be born here to American citizens. They can come from all the Latin American countries you want and have your children, and they will be considered Americans. So I'm tying that in there. But again, by and large, when we think about why immigrants come here, that little twisted logic he gave, they are coming to tear down our country. They don't want to assimilate, and they have no plans to.
Yeah, Nicole, I mean, he went down that line of logic, or I would say lack of logic, but that narrative where the reason why these other countries, these socialist countries can't, manage is because of the big bag America is colonialism and oppressive and things like that. And so that's why these countries are not thriving. And so then these people, as they mentioned with the great migrations and stuff, leave there and come to America. I don't understand what are your thoughts on that line of reasoning?
Listen, you hear this all the time from migrants. As I told you guys before, we do immigration physicals in my office. And as you would think that we got a bunch of Haitians and Venezuelans who are trying to move heaven and earth to get a green card. It's not going to work. But they're trying to move heaven and earth to get a green card. And what I hear from them over and over again, if it wasn't for the United States, I wouldn't have to be here. And I'm like, well, that's circular logic, because if it wasn't for the United States, you would still be living in the mud hut, right? With no power and no hope for the future, and crime and all the things that you no longer associate with because you've been living here for 3-4 years. So I get it. I get that, you want to have some allegiance to your home nation. I absolutely understand that. But since you're here, why not do your best to uphold our laws, adopt our ways? It would make your life much better. It would make the life of your children much better. You're like, no, Black Americans are dirty. This, and this, and this. I mean, like all of this weirdo foolishness.
Go home.
No, I don't even have to tell them to go home. I take their money for the immigration physical and I let USCIS give them a free ride home. Not my problem to have. This is the capitalist society that I love. You want to stay in this nation so badly. The nation that you absolutely abhor, the nation that you say is filled with people who hate you and can't stand you and so racist and this and that, but you're scared to death to go back to the home nation where you come from. Listen, colonialism was, quote unquote, a terrible thing. But your lack of colonialism is the reason why you're running to the colonial and the imperial powers now, because there is no structure. There's runaway crime, rampant poverty. There has to be parameters in a functioning society. Has to be. And when there's not, you know what happens? You sell your body, you sell your belongings, hell, a couple of your kids to get to the United States. So you have the freedom to bash the very same country that's feeding you every single day that you're here, that's giving you free healthcare, free housing, a free education. This young man, both of his ponytails, sitting here talking to Martha McCallum, is from Peru. The United States has a vested interest in Peru. Peru is a hot button thing for the United States. We stay up late at night, wringing our hands, figuring out how we're going to take little bitty Peru over. No, we don't. We have no interest in this soy boy whatsoever. But I do appreciate that he loves being here in the United States, because he couldn't talk that shit in Peru. He could not. His head would be on a stick. Not something he could do there. So they love our privileges, but they hate the responsibilities of being a member of this nation.
I don't appreciate it. I want them to all to go the hell home. I don't care where they come from. Go back. Stay there. Don't come here. If you don't like our values, we're the big imperialist country or colonial country, whatever. Stay the hell there and colonize yourself. Do whatever plant whatever you want. Do whatever. Build up your own economy. Don't come here freeloading off of us. Again, free this, and whatever else you can get your hands on, and then you send it back to your country. And then you have the audacity to tell us, we're the bad guys. Bullshit. Go back to your shithole. Like Donald Trump said, go back to there. I don't care. I don't care what country it's from anymore. I don't care. Go there and stay. African countries, South American countries, Eastern countries, go and stay. We don't want you here. I don't want you here. If you cannot come here legally and assimilate to our values, we don't want you. I'm tired of this compassionate, compassionate conservatism. I don't have any sympathy for it. Swim, fly, whatever you want to take, pigeon carrier, go back there and stay. I don't want you here. I don't.
Now, what about the dreamers? What about the babies? What about the kids who were brought here against their will and then grew up here?
Send them with the parents. When I was a child, I had to go places with my parents that I didn't want to go either. But so send them back. Send them back. Send them back.
But what about the babies and the little boys and the little girls who came here when they were young? They came against their will. They had to come with their parents and they never got citizenship. And now they're adults.
That's not my problem.
They have foreign passports. They have foreign passports. They have foreign passports. They have foreign documents with their name to the nation to which they belong. Don't let people tell you that these people here are completely undocumented. They have passports from their home nation. Absolutely. Because guess what? When grandma died and everybody got to fly home to bury grandma, how do you think they get into that home nation? Riddle me this.
When we were young, we were told, you a child, you don't have a say. You go.
That's what I'm saying. But what about, let's say if my mom was an adult, of course, and I was, let's say, 5, and she brought me over the border illegally. Okay. And now I'm here and I'm 45 and I never got my legal status. This is the only country I know. I don't know anything about El Salvador. I don't know anything about Guatemala. I don't know anything about these places. You guys going to send me back?
Hell yeah. Right. That's where you belong.
Go see the world. See the world. We give you, what is it? $2,600 we give it. Is that what they give in Nicole? $2,600? See the world. Pick a country. Pick a country.
You got to go on broomstick. Free ride.
If you cannot come here legally, or you
I didn't come here illegally. My mom.
Well, at 45, you are long an adult. You've been an adult for a long time. You could have sought out the legal pathway, if you will, to become a citizen by then and there. Parents, maybe your parents did mess up, but go back. Go to the go to jail, so to speak, and start at zero. Get your $200 and go back.
Listen, this is the thing. The land of your forefathers. You got relatives. Go stay with your relatives. Here's the problem that we have. Nobody brought their children here against their will, because some of the children born to that family, did not get to come. They still live in these other countries, right? Only the ones that they like the best got brought. Not all of them. Not all of them. They picked 1 or 2 and said, come on. But other than that, the rest of your family is in El Salvador. When you see these people who have been deported back to their home nations, they're not living on the street like bums. You know where they're staying? With their families. Right. They have families. They didn't fall out the sky. They didn't, come down like manna. They belong to that nation. This is the thing that I think that people get the most wrong about immigration, that if they can't live in the United States, oh my God, how will they ever live in Mexico? Well, you're Mexican. It's where you're from.
Look,
you can't
Nicole, I have a coworker. She had the audacity to ask me for a donation. And I said, for what? A donation for people, some children, like an orphanage or whatever the case may be, that she takes care of in Haiti. And I said, wait a minute, you're not from Haiti. No, she's not from Haiti. Her parents are. But so she has this affinity for Haiti because her parents were born there. She was born here. Okay, but she wants to collect all these things and take to Haiti for these people, the country that she wasn't even born in. I said, I will not. No, I will not. No, I'm not going to donate. No, I'm not. I'm not downplaying it. No, take your butt home. If you do not want to be here, if our country is so bad and so imperialist and colonialist, bye-bye. You are free to go. Get to stepping.
Let me tell you what they do with this donations. I mean, they just a page straight out of Bill and Hillary's book, right? They open up little stores. So all the things that we donate to them, that people say, oh yeah, I got a couple hundred I put on it, oh, well, we're going to buy rice, we're going to buy beans, we're going to buy, all this other stuff, powdered milk for the babies. They don't give that stuff away. they open up a little shop where people have to buy that from them. And it's not only Haiti, they do it in all of these little dusty countries. I don't understand how they can have that kind of capitalistic mindset, but refuse to assimilate here in the greatest capitalist place in the world. It makes no sense to me. But what I do understand is they will take advantage of one another. They will absolutely drag each other for filth just to get one half step ahead. But they get here to the United States and suddenly we're the enemy. We're the enemies with deep pockets, and they want to rob and steal and pillage from us. If they can't rob it and steal it, they beg it and borrow it. This is what they do. Scott Bessent said it best. They should not be allowed to send money out of our nation at all. If you're on any kind of public assistance in this nation, you should be prohibited from sharing any wealth with anyone else anywhere in the world until you can afford to take care of yourself. And even then, if you're sending it to a foreign nation, I feel like we should tax it at 70%. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. Now that might cost me a few conservative friends, but I'm going to say this. If you can afford to send money, quote unquote, back home, then go home.
And guess what? When you send it to that country, they tax it and steal it. You can send stuff to these other countries. And as it goes through customs and stuff, they're stealing it all. They're going through your merchandise and all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely. And why are you here as an immigrant? You should not be on the welfare system, period. Okay? You shouldn't be getting any kind of SNAP and whatever other welfare benefits. I mean, okay, you do. I can see if you get hurt, you do have to go to the emergency room. Okay, whatever. But don't get hurt then. All right. But nevertheless, stay home, whatever country you come from. Don't come here freeloading, demanding almost that we take care of you and give you all of our largesse, if you will, that hard Americans have worked hard for, scrimping, saving, whatever the case may be. And then you have the audacity basically to turn your ass to us and send it to somewhere else and then tell us we're the bad guy. No. Those days are over.
Well, I mean, you guys are sitting here talking about these people who need to self-deport and, the ones that are here illegally to go. What about the legal ones that we don't want here? All right, that's the ones that I have a gear to grind with some of the legal ones that are here that are causing and wrecking havoc on our country. All right, take a look at this next clip here.
This motherfucking McDonald's never had my motherfucking fresh cookies. I got a call every time for my fucking fresh cookies. Hi.
Can I have you pull over to the side right now, please?
Are y'all gonna have my fresh cookies?
Yes.
And how long?
2 minutes.
2 more minutes? Yeah. 2 more minutes. Yes. God damn. What's your name? You the new manager?
I'm the manager here.
The new one, right? Yeah. Damn, 2 more minutes. I'm gonna ask you next time I come, can y'all please have some fresh cookies? Because I literally call and make orders every time. It's not fun.
It gets worse.
For 3 cookies, I gotta pull up for 3 cookies?
Yeah.
2 minutes?
Have a great day.
All right. Okay.
It doesn't matter if you record. I'm being nice to you, okay?
All right, well, close the damn thing. You said you was gonna. Yep, I am.
Can you please pull over?
I am.
Okay. Can I have her money back, please? I'm gonna ask you tonight to leave.
All right, give me my damn money for sure, cause y'all got some raggedy ass employees anyway. I don't want y'all motherfucking cookies. The motherfuckers up in there showing each other manicures and shit. Manicures? That's what y'all got. Give me my money back. Give me my motherfucking money back. I'ma tag your ass too.
Wow.
I'ma tag your ass on Facebook, so look for me. Cause this shit is ridiculous. I got a call every time for some fresh cookies at McDonald's.
For cookies.
I got a call every time.
She's crashing out for cookies.
Okay. You want to do that same thing? I could do it too, ma'am.
Yeah, my name is Brandy Wooten. Follow me on Facebook. The Brandy Hive going up. Woo, 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 woo. I really do this. I'm a real blogger though, honey. Where's my money? Can I have my money? You already didn't threaten me. You was gonna cash me my money, so give me my fucking money. Damn. All right, hurry up then, cause that's what you said. You said you was gonna give me my money, so give me my money. Give me my money. Give me my money. Where's my money? Give me my money. Thank you, boo. I will never come over here again. Look at her raggedy ass. Remember her face. The Brandy Hive going up, and I will leave when I want to.
Wow. There it is.
Wow.
There it is. Something in the COVID shots, folks. Something in these COVID shots that got these people ill. Go ahead, Shelly.
something in those damn cookies. I mean, I don't. It's embarrassing to say the least. But yeah, you're right, KJ. We still have Americans who are born here who show the ads. Again, we can't really send them anywhere. I mean, I wish we could, but we can't. But I don't know what to do. I don't know. It's something in the cookies, too much sugar. I don't know, but she has a high for those cookies. She doesn't need to be there. She's embarrassing. And the thing is that she really thinks she's doing something right.
Yeah. How are people working in the public? I used to work in customer service for many, many years. I wouldn't do it if you paid me triple and quadruple the amount of money to work with, to deal with these types of people. Nicole, what are your thoughts?
You know, there's something about the lack of socialization. Again, I'm going to keep going back to that, where people have become, for lack of a better term, indoor people. You know, they don't socialize with other people. They don't have the skill set to socialize with other people. And you see it a lot in younger Americans, and they just don't know, as we would say, how to act. Now, there's a generational divide, as we saw in the earlier video with the older gentleman who went upside the back of the head of the young soy boy who wouldn't stand for the pledge. This is a generational divide, you know, where he's saying, well, I can sit here because I've been sitting here and it doesn't matter if they're playing our national anthem. I'm not standing up. And the guy behind him is like, oh, but you're going to stand. You don't have to put your hand over your heart, but you're going to stand up and you're going to be real quiet, act real solemn. And when his two friends turned around, he had a little smoke for them too. So here's this nut job who's eating these horrible, horrible, greasy, terrible cookies from McDonald's. I mean, her taste buds are trash. Let's just do that. I mean, she's not at Crumble somewhere. She's at McDonald's.
Oh, you can tell she's eating in advance. Her whole face is broke out. She's got black marks and stuff all over her face from the sugar and stuff she's eating.
You call in advance for 3 cookies from McDonald's? What is going on in your life that you have time? One, to find the phone number to McDonald's, call them up, wait for somebody to answer the phone, and then place an order like you're calling a pizza joint. I'll be by there in 15 minutes in the drive-thru for 3 hot and fresh cookies. You could have made your own damn cookies. Gas is $4 a gallon. You didn't busted up your wallet to give them a couple of bucks for these cookies. This is outrageous behavior. But again, the manager was no better. And she was like, well, if you're going to record, let me go get my cell phone. Socialization. The appropriate thing to do, pull up, close the freaking window. Let me tell you, I say this all the time. When people are behaving poorly, the best thing that you can do is remove yourself from that situation and let them have their moment. Let them have their moment. And when they're finished having their moment, if they found their way back to being a human being, you can have a conversation. If not, when people show you who they are, believe that. Right? Believe them. You cannot go through this life like we used to and say, all right, well, this week she's going to be better. All right, well, tomorrow he's really going to turn the corner. No, they're not. These are who these people are, and we have to believe them. Let's hope that she doesn't have a bunch of kids. Let's hope that, you know, time will help her kind of smooth out. Because right now, sis, over 3 McDonald's cookies, you looking real raggedy.
Oh, she is. She's looking tore up from the floor up. All right. We have some super chatters here, folks. Thank you all so much. We appreciate you. Let us know what you think. Are we being too hard on the lady? You know, or are we right on the money? Let us know what you all think about this cookie monster. She is a literal.
That's exactly what it is. A cookie monster. That's exactly what it is. Sabrix, thank you for your $2, Sabrix. The consumers will be permanently dumbed down on. Yeah, they will be. Josh, hi, Josh. Josh says we literally need a 60-year moratorium on all immigration, both legal and illegal. I would say more than that. I would say more than that. It's the moratorium needs to be the rule, and then carve out a few exceptions instead of the other way around. So now it's like come one, come all. But yep, Josh, you're right. Sabrix, again, thank you. Y'all are a powerhouse when you stream together.
We always stream together. Thank you.
Emily, thank you for your $20. Emily says, Please pray for my son who is deployed to Qatar and his best friend who was deployed to Jordan. Each has a wife and a child under 2 at home. The first time ever deployed. The weekend attacks were really hard on them mentally. Oh my gosh. Emily's, we send our prayers, our support. They will be in our prayers. Thank you, Emily, for that. Thank you for sharing that. All right, everybody else out there in Super Chat land, thank you so much for your Super Chats. Thank you to our mods. It was great to hear from Liberty Girl. I think she hasn't been here for a while, so I hope you're feeling okay. I don't know what was going on, but I hope you're feeling better if you were not feeling well, Liberty. Thanks for being back tonight. All of you here, we could not do this without you. We love you.
S-Files too. S-Files was under the weather for a little bit.
Oh, that's right. S-Files, thank you for being back. I'm sorry. Allie's here with us always. Thank you, Angela. Other people in there. Thank you so much for your Super Chats and being our mods. Thank you very much. Thank you for that.
Absolutely, folks. Yes, indeed. Keeping it. I mean, we got more here. I mean, this woman, the McDonald's Cookie Monster, was not the only one. Okay, we got this woman. I don't know. Is there something in the food? Take a look. This is clip 9.
Yeah, I'm so allergic to shellfish, but I don't care. It's hump day, and when I finish, I'm gonna lock myself in the hospital and seek treatment.
Oh my gosh. She's allergic to shellfish and couldn't help herself. She's eating it. And she's making herself sick. Her daughter is in the back crying.
What is
I can't believe my body decided to turn on me after all these years. Eating shellfish, but I just had to have some today.
Why is she
Did y'all see? I'm in the right spot.
And her daughter's in there crying. She's nervous about her mom eating all this shellfish, knowing that she's going to have an allergic reaction and have to go to the hospital. What's wrong with people, Shelly? What in the world is wrong with people?
What I would call this is not even dumb. This is totally, I call it child abuse, because that child that is back there is seeing her mom. Guess what? You can put yourself into an anaphylactic shock and she could literally die. That's probably why the child, she's probably aware of how serious it is, to however her little mind can understand it. But it's gluttony. That's what this is. This is gluttony. That's what this is. And number 3, y'all know I have misophonia. So just sitting there hearing her eat and smack it, and the way she's eating, that just irritated me right then and there. But that's what it is. It's gluttony. That's what it is.
And the butter was running down her face.
And you saw her scratching her throat, and she was producing her allergic reaction was starting just that quickly. And she's so gluttonous that she wouldn't even take a Benadryl. She should have at least a Benadryl or EpiPen right there with her. She's knowing this, okay? But again, that's child abuse. And to a degree, that is child abuse to do that in front of her daughter or son, whoever it was back there. But this is inconsiderate, is putting it mildly, but I don't know another word except for inconsiderate and gluttonous. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's dangerous is what it is. It's incredibly dangerous. As someone who worked in the emergency department for years, I will tell you, there are times in an emergency department where we're busy, right? And you come in big-lipped and clearing your throat, you may run into someone from registration who tells your dumb self to have a damn seat. And the next face you may or may not see may be Jesus. Yeah, people die.
She's not seeing Jesus.
She can die. It can be that quick.
No, I mean she's seeing Satan. Ain't no way she's going to heaven.
You know, and that poor child. If this memory is going to live with that child, well, what won't you do for clicks? What won't you do for notoriety? You know, I love shellfish myself. I do. Y'all know I have a bee sting allergy, certain bees. I don't go anywhere without that very expensive EpiPen, just to protect myself. And I wouldn't want anyone around me to feel discomforted because I'm running like a lunatic from a bee going, oh, I wish I would have brought my EpiPen. You know, this is ridiculous. This is self-sabotage of the highest order. It is absolute child abuse. And this is abuse of the medical system. Girl, what are you doing?
Absolutely.
What are you doing?
The S-File said, I hope she paid her own damn medical bill. I doubt it, because she'll go to the emergency room, and because she's in allergic and possibly anaphylactic shock, that's not going to necessarily be charging her own insurance. It doesn't have to be. We're going to pay for it. It doesn't. No, we're going to pay for it.
Right.
Wow.
That poor kid is going to be forever saddled with these memories, forever. Right. And so what happens the next time she just gotta have a lobster tail?
She's gonna do it again.
Absolutely. And what happens when there is no help, or the help doesn't help? You know, you think of all the people that we've given Narcan to that have died anyway, right? What happens then? Who's going to raise that child in the backseat? Is it worth
That's
it?
why I say it's child abuse. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely obscene. And Shelley's right. The way she's eating, oh my God.
Oh yeah,
Lord have mercy.
That would have put me. That was child abuse right there, because the little girl probably was afraid she was going to eat her. I mean, the way she was sopping up that lobster in the butter, and she's in pain. I mean, folks, what we are witnessing is not only a political, conflict, a cultural conflict. This is spiritual warfare expressed through the oldest weaknesses of the human heart. All right. That was pure lust. It was lust and gluttony. All right. And she's already overweight. So we already know she's overeating. And this endless pursuit of excess. Okay. The enemy doesn't always have to destroy us with suffering. Sometimes he can distract us with endless pleasure. Okay. And that's exactly what that is. Anytime you can't even stop yourself from going into an allergic reaction because your fat tongue has to have that butter falling out of your mouth and down your chin. And then your daughter, your child is sitting there crying because of it. That is a force that is not, that's a demonic force. That is a spiritual force that is causing this. All right. And we got to continue. I always say on Christian Conservative, you guys follow us on Thursday and Sunday nights, Christian Conservative with KJ and Michelle. We talk about this. We have to continue to look at all this through a biblical lens. It's not just political. Okay. It's biblical. That woman needs prayer. She really does. And this is what we do. We call it out. I mean, a lot of people were laughing about it. And to an extent, it's not. It really isn't. It really isn't.
There's
all right. Nope. And continuing down this road of people we wish we could get out of here, the legals that we wish we could deport. All right. We gotta talk about Sunny Hostin. Folks, it got worse. We talked about this on Wednesday of last week. Well, it got worse. We're talking about the body cam of Sunny Hostin's son being arrested, or not even arrested, given a citation for being on or near train tracks, I believe it was, and trespassing. It's gotten worse. Bombshell body cam, new body cam has just been released of this. And folks, it's worse than we thought. It is worse than we thought. The contempt for this high yellow, nasty, smug leftist woman is beyond. Take a look here. This is clip 8.
Misdemeanor charge, we're dumbing it down to a violation, okay? I know you're upset. We just do it as a deterrence because, again, like I explained to you on the phone, besides being illegal, which is far from the subject, it's dangerous.
My mom's a lawyer, by the way.
That's okay. What's your name?
What's your name, sir?
I'm Brian.
Brian, is that your badge number 2814?
Yes. So the reason we're stopping you, this is trespassing right here.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was open over there. I was just walking on a run here.
Where are you coming from? All the way over there?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm sorry. It just looked open for me, so I just walked in.
So
24 years old. He has been taken under, into custody by the police. 24 years old. Remember that, folks.
This is considered trespassing. It's criminal trespass. The reason why it's such a big deal, people get hit by a train all the time. We want to prevent it, obviously.
Father,
Okay?
can you please?
You want me to hold it for you?
Yeah, my mom. The phone's at 2%. FYI. Here you go.
So yeah, so this is considered trespassing. It's a big deal. We don't want people to get hit by a train, which is why we came running over. Okay. Do you have any ID on you?
Yes.
Okay. Where is it?
It's in my phone. If you take off the case.
Tell them your mother is a federal prosecutor.
Yeah.
Lie number one.
Lies, lies, lies. Using lies as alibis.
Yeah. Lie number one. Tell him your mother is a federal prosecutor. No, we know that she is no longer a federal fuck up, as you say, Shelly. She is a
former.
Right.
A
former
federal
fuck up. Right, exactly. Right now, she is a shrew from The View, all right? And we know her as Sunny Candyland Hostin because she's also her family owned slave. Ah. Where is my beautiful sister? Okay, we know this. That was her. That's Sunny Candyland Hostin. We know her as a slave owner, plantation owner family. Okay, let's keep going. We want to give her the name that she's owed, the name that she really is, not the lie of a federal prosecutor.
Hey, Mom, how are you? This is Officer Gomez. Your son's fine, right? How are you?
This is
Yes,
former
yes.
federal prosecutor.
Okay,
That's
fair
my
enough.
son.
Yeah.
He's a Harvard graduate.
Yeah.
He's
Why do we need to know this? Where he went to school?
It just makes it worse. It makes it worse because I know he can read. If he went to Harvard, I know he can read the sign that says no trespassing. And he knows what that word means.
He's not a criminal. He has no criminal record, no criminal history.
Mm-hmm. Yes. No, I understand that. The issue is, like I told your son, is this is considered criminal trespassing. So besides being illegal, it's actually very dangerous for him to be around the railroad tracks. You know, we get people that get hit all the time.
Okay, let's get my mom on the phone.
Of course, yeah.
Oh, let's get my mommy. I need my mommy's tits. I need to suck some milk. I need mommy's tits.
Call my mama.
Yeah, he already had her on the phone. Now he got to get her back on the phone. Okay.
Mom is at 2%.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, his mother she has a law degree. She has a law background. So he may have wanted her on the line because, it's nice to have your attorney, know what's going on when you have been approached by the police. Do you ladies agree there, or what are your thoughts?
I can agree to a certain point, but remember, he was already out running, talking to mommy on 2%. I mean, you can't jog without talking to mommy. Come on, because later on she tells us why they were already on the phone. She has to tell us. She can't keep it a secret.
Hey, so you said that. Can I grab my phone?
Absolutely, go ahead.
And if the phone dies, can we call her?
Absolutely.
So yeah, just tell her.
Miss Hostin, it's Officer Gomez.
Hi, Officer Gomez. I'm about 4 minutes away.
Okay, that's fine. So I just wanted to give you the heads up. So I am going to be writing your son what's called an appearance ticket. I'm sure you know what that is. I'll explain everything, where he has to report all that stuff, because it is criminal trespass where he was. It's normally hold on for 1 second, miss. It's normally a misdemeanor. Obviously, we're cutting it down to the violation because there's nothing on his record. He's been very cooperative with us. But as of right now, we will have to issue him the appearance ticket.
Officer, is that really necessary? This is a kid that doesn't do anything. He's a Harvard graduate and a Yale researcher. He teaches geometry to box.
I understand.
Can we stop right there for a minute? Because that's the first time she mentioned about those kids. Now, in a couple of different clips of this same incident, a couple of clips, it sounded like she said stupid ass kids. And some other clips it said, I don't know if they corrected it or bleeped it out, but she may have said Bronx kids. But basically her snobbery is basically, okay, I'm only going to use the kids as it benefits my son. But otherwise, these kids are beneath me and beneath what he should be doing.
Yeah. But wait a minute. She's a brown girl, right? So she can't have any privilege. These are white cops.
Systemic racism. Racism. What's going on?
Yeah, the way we're taught, the way they tell us that brown people have no privilege. We have no, elitism. We are the oppressed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So how is she able to flaunt this? Yeah. Is that necessary? This woman is a elitist. Okay, folks. She is an elitist. She has more money than most of the white and black people I know. All right.
Why would you put something on his record like this?
No, it's not even. It's not
Why
even
would you?
criminal.
As
He
if
just
it's
has to
their
appear. I'm
fault.
dumbing it down to a violation.
Yeah.
As if it's their fault. Why would you put something on his record like you're doing something to her mommy tit sucker? I mean, get a grip. You're on your way there. Just bring the milk.
That's all it is. So it's not a misdemeanor. It's just going back down. I'm writing him literally for the 140.05. It's a trespass violation. He would have to appear, which is an inconvenience. I understand that. But with all due respect, man, I still have a job to do. And we have to deter people from being on the tracks. Because again, besides...
I understand, but what I'm asking of you is once a judge gets this, all he would have to do is pay a fine anyway. There is a path.
What happens if you didn't do it?
So she's trying to
What happens if you're like, oh, wait,
coerce and bribe the police officer in a way? Yeah, I mean, form a federal fuck up. Well, if you already know that, then pay the damn fine when you get the violation.
Yeah.
Right. This.
Well, we have cameras everywhere. If we didn't see you, somebody would have called it over.
Correct.
And
there was too many trains coming in and out of there to not.
I hate to
not
say
see
it,
you.
it's like my partner said, our hands are tied. It is what it is. Listen, I really appreciate you being cool about this. Put you in handcuffs, and we do that for our safety and all that stuff. Hi, miss, how are you?
Here she
I'm
comes.
Officer Gomez. No problem. I apologize for this, but it's
apologize.
Yeah,
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like I explained to you, normally it's a misdemeanor charge. We're dumbing it down to a violation. Okay, I know you're upset. We just do it as a deterrence because, again, like I explained to you on the phone, besides being illegal, which is far from the subject, it's dangerous. I mean, so that's pretty much it.
Can you give him a warning?
I cannot at this point. I have to recommend something. And like I said, it's usually a misdemeanor. We're dumbing it down to a violation. So he's literally getting hit by with the 140.05.
It's the equivalent of you being pulled over for a broken tail light.
Yeah. But all this hoopla, all this for a citation.
Nothing. It's not going to be asked a bunch of questions like if it's going to hit his license. Absolutely not. Yeah. No, it's not going to affect him.
You see, you mean he teaches. Well, now he's being taught a lesson.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. No, I understand. I really do.
How are you?
How are you? This is my son.
How you doing?
We already know that. You done told us that on the phone.
Just on a run, on a walk, and the gate was open. I was like, oh. Yeah.
Sounds like an honest
He's on the
mistake.
phone with me. Actually. I'm a former federal prosecutor.
Yeah.
He knows he's a Harvard grad who teaches 4th grade geometry to kids.
God bless.
This is not a
South
kid
Bronx
who's
kid.
ever in trouble. It's an innocent mistake. I understand you have to.
Yeah,
it's
I don't know
violation,
what happened,
but
but yeah, whatever.
It's
not the end of the world. I get you.
I mean, the elitism that just falls off of her. Oh my gosh.
Yes,
You know-
that's exactly what it is. This
Who
whole
likes this woman?
Four
came up there, this-
police officers.
Say that,
Four
how many?
police
Four.
officers for trespassing. Four.
Right.
I've
Right.
seen cops wrestle people out of their cars, one on a group of 3 or 4 of them. Where are they that there are 4 available police officers for a trespass from a quote unquote Harvard graduate who teaches South Bronx kids geometry, but he can't read a no trespassing sign? Where are we?
New Rochelle, because apparently the court date that he has to appear is July 31st. So I know someone said they report that the charges were dropped. I don't think so. At least what I'm seeing on the social media is that he has to go to court, make an appearance on the 31st of July. That's number one. Number two, you're right, KJ. She's elitist, but her elitism, it's not just her elitism here. She has contempt for these cops. The attitude is, how dare you, working class cop in a uniform? You wear uniform, the perennial symbol, the universal symbol of working class, if you will. How dare you tell my son, that he's going to get a citation? I had to come out of my home to do this. I don't even really want to be in your presence. That's her look. The look as if these people, these cops, are beneath her and her son. That's what she's really saying. It's her elitism, yes, but she has disdain because these cops represent, remember, she's fearful of flags in America, okay? But these cops represent the heart and soul of America, the streets of America, no less, communities, everywhere you go. They are representative of that, and that's what she has the disdain for. She really could spit on them. That's the look she wants to give them, or that she does give them.
Yeah, you got it. You hit the nail on the head.
Okay, so this is going to be your copy. Okay, so basically, just have to show up on a Friday, July 10th at 9:30 a.m. It's going to be to the New Rochelle Criminal Court. It's going to be at 475 North Ave here in New Rochelle. Not the end of the world, not the crime of the century. Okay. It's unfortunate. I get it. I know you're upset. I know your mom's upset. I'm not trying to be a ball buster here. I have a job to do. That's all it is.
He doesn't have balls.
I really appreciate you being cooperative.
There we go. He doesn't have balls.
Yeah. We didn't get to the best part, did we? Because another point, the whole purpose of her coming there, she came for her son. And most parents probably, you want to go see what's going on. I get that, right? But when she said that we were on the phone, I had a big interview. That's why she came. She made this about her in an ever so quote unquote not so subtle way. She wanted it to be known that she was talking to her son about some interview that she had, and that she's on The View, and that she has this, she's on this national show. That's what this was about. This was a proxy for her. Her son was the proxy for her to have another moment of fame and be in front of a camera. Sonny ain't slick. I mean, she's a former federal fuck up, but she ain't slick, okay? People done been down her road. You got people that's slicker than grease that know her car.
Oh, we know she's not slick. She's a Miss Piggy. That's what she is. She's a Miss Piggy, former federal fuck up, as you mentioned, slave owner. Nicole, final thoughts.
Well, much like her on The View, I was handed this correction. Just a moment, ladies. The correction. While she is a former federal fuck up, she is a whole bitch. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right. Folks, sound off in the chat. Let us know what you think. Did we go too far, or did we not go far enough? Let us know. Sound off, let us know, folks. Again, we love these moments where people like her get a dose of reality. All right. She sits behind her big desk on The View and just, goes off on police officers, on patriots, on the flag. And so now she gets a little dose of it. And we get to see behind the curtain that not only, as you mentioned, Nicole, is she a bitch on TV, she's a bitch in real life.
Absolutely. So she's not acting. She is a bitch. I wonder if there's any way we could get to New Rochelle on July the 31st to be a spectator in that courtroom.
Oh, wait. And we should all bring little American flags since they scare her so much. Everybody a flag. Ooh. And I'll get everybody a little correction card that says, yes, former federal fuck up is actually a bitch. We can just bring our little cards.
Oh, yeah. We have flags and our MAGA hats. That'll really terrify
Oh, my gosh. Terrify her.
My pink one that's autographed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got a pink one too, Nicole. I got a pink one too. All right. We try to get down there. Yeah, that would be
Road
interesting.
trip. Let's go.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, we will be back on Wednesday night, same time, 9 p.m. So you don't want to miss it. We have a couple super chats here, I believe, Shelly.
Yes, we do. We have a couple here. Come on, everybody. We have Savrix, and Savrix has been with us all night. Thank you, Savrix. He sent us 2 gems again. Thank you for that. Thank you for the super chat, Savrix. Also, Jude. Hi, Jude. Where have you been, Jude? I think we've been 400 gems equals an eagle level, I guess. Thank you all for your super chats. Thank you so much for the mods again, for all your comments, your feedback. Even the little people that like to troll us in our comments. We love it. We think it's so hilarious. And we love that you join us. Thank you for that engagement. I mean, keep coming. We love it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Please keep it coming. And folks, we appreciate you all, each and every one of you. We really do. Make sure to share this video, share it in a DM, share it on your social media, and hype it. After this has been out for 24 hours, you can go back in and hype the video. That gets it out to more people. That will be available 24 hours after this live show. Go on and hype. All right. Thank you all so much. Until next time, count your blessings and live a life of purpose. Good night.